A girl was just delivering a medical record to the emergency room for a colleague, but she almost lost her life. From Dr. Xiao's words, they learned that someone who had just returned from the Middle East had collapsed in the emergency room and was currently coughing and feverish, suspected of having the Middle East respiratory syndrome. As a doctor, Mi Dai didn't feel unlucky, but instead immediately asked how she could help. At that moment, there was a surgery needing her, so Mi Dai joined Xiao Yuhan in the busy emergency room. She didn't realize that danger was approaching. Because the environment in the emergency room was complex, Mi Qian needed to take care of a postoperative patient in the isolation room. Fortunately, the night passed without any problems. All the medical staff were very happy. If no one got sick in a few more hours, the isolation could be lifted. Just as they were happy about this, Mi Xiao had an incident. He suddenly developed symptoms of fever and cough. When a colleague came to relieve him, he rushed to the door and saw Mi Dai's condition, which worried Xiao Yuhan. But he remained calm and isolated Mi Dai separately. That night, the head of the emergency department, Wei Lan, came to check on Mi Dai's condition and asked Chen Tao to bring her phone from upstairs into the isolation room. After getting the phone, Mi Dai immediately wanted to call her boyfriend, but found that Xing Qiliai only left a message saying he wouldn't be back that night, and there was no other information. She felt a bit disappointed. When she called again, she found that Xing Qiliai's phone was off. Remembering that after finishing the surgery, Xia Qian was resting, she borrowed Xiao Yuhan's phone to call him and report that she was safe, but he was also off. Mi Qian knew that her special forces boyfriend must be on a mission again. She typed a message to Xing Qiliai about her situation, wanting to send it. Even though she was strong, Mi Dai was still a girl who longed for her boyfriend's comfort at that moment. But considering Xing Qiliai's job, after hesitating for a while, she decided not to send the message. Instead, she sent a message to her best friend Xiao Xia that she was isolated. Soon, Mi Dai's condition worsened, her fever didn't subside, and she became drowsy. When she woke up groggily, she immediately checked her phone. Seeing that her boyfriend still hadn't responded, she couldn't control her tears. When her body improved slightly, she checked her phone again, but Xing Qiliai still had no messages. While she was silently upset, Xiao Xia called her, asking about Mi Dai's condition. When she found out that Xing Qiliai had been out of contact for 2 days, she immediately said she would scold him for her. She even wanted to rush to the hospital. After hanging up, Mi Qian started worrying about Xing Qiliai, who always went on sudden missions, and wondered if he was facing danger at that moment. Until Mi Dai's fever subsided and the isolation was lifted, she still hadn't received any news from Xing Qiliai. However, Mi Qian didn't know that at that moment, Xing Qiliai was outside the hospital, and his mission was in its final stage of capture. After successfully capturing the suspect, he looked toward the hospital with concern. It turned out that on the way, Xing Qiliai had already known what happened at the hospital, but because his phone had been collected, he couldn't contact Mi Dai. At that moment, he had another task, so although he was worried about Mi Dai, he could only leave reluctantly. Meanwhile, as soon as Mi Dai was released from isolation, Xiao Xia picked her up and took her home to rest. When she got home, Mi Dai was still worried about Xing Qiliai, constantly checking her phone, hoping for a response. But until she fell asleep, she didn't get one. At that moment, Xing Qiliai finished his mission and hurried back. Xiao Xia didn't give him a good look and told Xing Qiliai about Mi Dai's suffering. Xing Qiliai came to Mi Dai's bedside and was instantly filled with guilt. He blamed himself for not being by her side when she needed him most, and he looked at Mi Dai with deep concern, unable to calm down for a long time. Back in the room, Xing Qiliai